So back in 2018, April 2018 to be exact, when I dislocated my shoulder, I was immediately thrust into a situation where I had to change what I was doing. So like, prior to that time, I was doing a lot of exercise like I do now, lots of repetitions of calisthenics, all my chin-ups and pull-ups and all that kind of stuff to prepare for the obstacle course race that ultimately I injured myself in, dislocating my shoulder and having to wear like a sling for months, having to hold my arm like this for months. And in that moment, I had a decision to make. I had to decide if I was going to either, I'll say it's kind of three decisions. I either had to just go ahead and decide to, well, it's two. I had to decide if I was going to let this end my physical activity career, so to speak, being very active and exercising and stuff, or if I was going to keep on doing what I was doing. And for me, it was a non-negotiable that, being fit and active and doing calisthenics, to gain strength and endurance, there was no question that was what I was going to continue to do. Now, that meant that I automatically had a journey in front of me. And me personally, I wanted to avoid surgery. A lot of times people say if you dislocate your shoulder, you tear like a ligament or something like that, and they talk about needing surgery to heal that stuff properly. But me personally, I wanted to avoid going under the knife, and my goal from that point on, and as I've told many people in some of my most popular videos on this YouTube channel, my goal from then on was to make my shoulder as strong as possible. So I was under a few months of rest where I couldn't do anything, and then I came back and did rehab with an occupational therapist for months. Like I think it was twice a week for a while, then it went to once a week. And then finally after that, I had to kind of like gradually get back into the exercise. I had to get over my own nervousness, getting back into stuff. But here I am, it's 2025 now, as of the recording this video, and I'm back into my stuff. Now I say all that to say this. As much as we don't want to admit it, a lot of times it's like things happen that will sometimes cause us to change our behavior. Sometimes, we want certain things in life, but we don't go after them sometimes unless something kind of pushes us to do so. And again, I don't like to admit that. I don't, but it's true. And my situation was one of those things where it kind of worked a little bit differently. But my point is, I had like something happen that could have very easily caused me to lose confidence in my ability to be, to do what I like to do. But I was forced, to like a two-way, not a two-way, but to like a crossroads essentially. Either you're gonna give up or you're gonna move forward. But moving forward, you're gonna have to you have a journey ahead of you. You know what I mean? So it was one of those kind of situations. Sometimes we make decisions. For example, this obviously can be applied to all of life, but I just try to talk about health and fitness on this channel. But like, for example, if you you get sick and it's like really hard on your body and stuff like that, you can either just kind of give in to the sickness, or you can decide I'm going to recover and like you set your intention and really come out of that. Like maybe somebody's bedridden, you know, maybe having some sort of event like a heart attack or something like that. Maybe something like that may ultimately be the thing that causes somebody to make the decision to get their as healthy as they possibly can, you know. And again, we don't necessarily like to admit that, but a lot of times it's those kind of things, or maybe like you lose somebody, you know, somebody passes away, you know, or you know, and it just kind of makes you think like, man, you know, and maybe it makes you make different kind of decisions about your own health and whatnot. I also believe it doesn't have to be stuff like that happens. Sometimes it could be like something as simple as you listening to like watching a video like mine, or listening to somebody talking about, you know, for example, the fact that a diet high in sugar can raise your risk for diabetes or high blood pressure. And even something that small could be like the catalyst for somebody to actually make like a different choice for themselves. So it can be a small thing, it can be a big thing. But honestly, a lot of times it's something that happens that tends to kind of convince us that we have to make a change. You know what I mean? And so I even remember my mom telling me, because back when I was like a teenager, she lost like 50 pounds at one point. And even stuff like my mom doing that when she did, I never needed to lose you know, a significant amount of weight, but seeing her on a health journey definitely was something that inspired me in a variety of ways. But what really spurred her to that moment, because she had been wanting to do that for a while, but what really spurred her to that moment is she said she just looked at herself one day and was like, all right, it's time. It's just something about her in that moment. She was like, all right, enough is enough. And she was on the journey, and she was locked in. And it was an awesome thing to watch, you know, because my mom was really serious. She adopted certain kind of behaviors. Even when the rest of us would eat one way, she would eat her way, because she was very serious about what she was doing. And so I say that to say this. You come into my channel, possibly you're on your own health journey, or you're considering it. Maybe you're considering, you know, losing weight, or you're considering getting into calisthenics, you know, which is kind of like a lot of what I do. That's almost all that I do on the strength training side of things. But anyway, perhaps you're a person who has been starting for like the past several years. In other words, you've been really wanting to make a change, but you haven't done it yet. You kind of still, you know, kind of holding back and kind of deciding, and but you're kind of attached to your things. You kind of figure one day you'll get it in, but then you don't. But what is going to be your catalyst? What's the thing that's going to really push you to start taking this stuff seriously? Like I said, I don't think it always has to be something drastic, like losing somebody or getting sick, or you know, something like that. Sometimes it can just be hearing something. Now, I'm always of the mind that, you know, especially when, like they say, you know better, you do better. And of course, I have things, obviously, that I'm working on too. But I'm of the mindset that, you know, we learn things as much as we can, you know, try to like learn, like to implement once we learn. Now it is difficult, and so you kind of have to have some more things to drive you whenever you learn, when you just learn about something like academically, like a health change you can make, like, you know, that, you know, walking 150 minutes a week as a bare minimum, 30 minutes 5 times a week, you know, or you know, getting enough sleep and stuff like that. Because the thing is, you know, like health and disease are cumulative, and so we want to really make sure that we, the same way with like a stock investment, you want to try to use time to your advantage and start as early as you can. Um, so yeah, you really want to implement once you learn. Um, but at the same time, though, I just wanted to recognize the fact that a lot of times something is like a catalyst that really pushes us to like really start taking stuff um, seriously, and I don't know. It's kind of like the way it is. However, I encourage you here, even this today, and decide for yourself what you want, what you really want for your well-being, for your health status, and just really meditate on what you want and decide, because usually when we're having a hard time and going kind of back and forth or whatever, it kind of essentially reveals our attachment to whatever kind of habits we're used to. But I promise you, there's a place that you can get where you lock in, where you have really decided in your heart that enough is enough, and you're going to get whatever it is for your health that you want, and you lock in. That there's a place, and I know personally what that feels like. And if you haven't known that yet, I really hope and pray that you do, because it may seem like, oh, I can't live without this food or this drink, or without watching movies all the time, every day, and not going outside, different stuff like that, whatever it is. It may seem like it's impossible to do without something, but there's a place you can get where you actually see that whatever it is that you want, you can go after it, and you can be locked in, and you don't need those things that keep on pulling at you. Hopefully that makes sense what I'm saying, because you are a moldable being. Like the way that God made us, we are like very changeable. You have neuroplasticity where your brain can very easily rewire itself depending on what you're doing. To kind of adopt new behaviors and get rid of old behaviors and stuff like that. But it's up to you. It's really up to you. So hopefully something I said in this video is inspiring or something like that. Just be encouraged and find you a catalyst to get you going on your health and fitness journey, so you can go ahead and get locked in and not feel like you're at the whims of your own cravings and whatnot. Let me know if something, helped you in this video, and y'all have a good one. As we get older, it becomes increasingly important to maintain and build muscle. Muscle helps you burn fat, stay mobile, and can contribute to longevity. However, many people have no idea how to work out to build muscle. My mini workout series on Patreon provides you with my body weight mini workout video library. These workouts use little to no equipment, which means that you can do them in the privacy of your own home. They start at beginner level and progress from there to ensure you continue to see results. Every workout is a full body workout, hitting chest, back, legs, and glutes, as well as other muscles in between. Become a patron today and receive access to my series of mini workouts, plus access to a digital copy of my book, 8 Weeks to Transform Your Diet and Your Health. By combining the workouts with healthy diet changes, as outlined in my book, you'll definitely be on your way to weight loss, improved health, and visible results. Join me at patreon.com/SeanB2B Fitness today.